This is Sage School. This is my ideal classroom. This is the 3D model of indoor and outdoor. As you can see, the floor and walls are both a muted neutral color, but it is still a color so that it's not completely beige or white. I first started with a natural element in the classroom to bring life and so the students can appreciate the beauty of this natural element in a large plant. In this corner, you can see a bookshelf full of books. They're in rainbow order to teach the children the colors of the rainbow and the order that they would go in. Rather than chairs, we have floor cushions in a neutral color so the students can sit on the floor, and they are arranged in a half circle shape so that they may all see what's going on and whoever's reading or presenting in the front. I included the numericals on the wall to help teach numbers, and I built this little tiny cloud. It feels very whimsical. It is also neutral in color, and it sort of helps the children use their imagination and feel like when they read, they're really transformed to whatever book they're reading. As you can see on this long wall, I have all the ABCs also in a neutral color so that the children can help practice and recall their ABCs. This is the art corner. It is wooden furniture and has lots of art supplies that the students can freely use on their schedule, arts from 11:30 to 12, and would kind of include a free art time to explore and express themselves. In the art area, you can see displayed are several student arts, all in varying colors, not one of them necessarily better than the other, just celebrating each individual's differences and talents. The first one, they filled up almost the whole canvas. The second one, they filled up a little less, and the third one's more minimal, but each and every one of them is appreciated for their beauty. This is the center table. It is circular in shape so that they can all be collaborative and see one another, and if they're studying or talking about something, it can be in the middle of the table and every student can equally see it, as well as when the teacher wants to walk around and help or observe of the interactions of the students, it's much easier in a circular table than in tiny desks or a square table. The chairs are also neutral and muted in color. These ones are made of a natural material, sort of a wicker or like rattan. This middle table is actually painted with chalk paint so that the students can practice drawing, writing, shapes, colors, ordering on the table, and then go ahead and erase it when they're done. As you can see, this student started practicing their ABCs with what looks like to be an orange piece of chalk. And this student looks like they were working on some sort of phonics, practicing their letters, spelling the simple three-letter word M-A-T, mat. This is where a lot of learning takes place, but absolutely not all of the learning. Which brings us to the outside, which I focused more on minimalism and natural elements to really promote the kids' pretend play and being imaginative. So on this side, we have a flower garden that the students help to plant these pretty little flowers. And they can tend to them, water them, take turns having jobs, and learn about flowers and photosynthesis and the life cycle of plants. In the middle here, I included a sports area. It would include lots of different sports. This one in particular is basketball. And I have this little wooden hoop here, and this helps encourage students to learn sports. Sports are good because physical activity helps children in order to be in a better mood. Their energy and their mood is higher, and they learn to be collaborative, to disagree, to be a good loser and a good winner. It's also really good for their gross motor skills. Learning to throw the ball in the net is a good skill, and it's also really good exercise to keep students active and fit. In this corner, I used some natural tree stumps as a seating area so the students can sit and play and build with these natural elements while they observe of the shallow pond in the corner of their play yard. The pond is to teach them about water, teach them about animals, to encourage them to play imaginatively. They can pretend to be fishermen, they can pretend to be mermaids. There are fish in the pond, so just like the flowers, they can take turns feeding the fish, and every single person can see them and show interest in them. Here's an overview of the school. This school would host students 6 weeks of age to 5 years old. This is what I called a modern Montessori. So it is Montessori, as you can see from the neutral and natural elements and encouraging imaginative play. But it is also modern, meaning that it adapts to modern day issues and modern day kids. With all the neutral colors, it also promotes inclusivity and non-discrimination. The students would be dropped off around 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. at the very latest. They would begin with a circle time where they would say a daily good morning so that each student can celebrate their individuality and say good morning and learn their peers' names. Then they would do some sort of sensory activity, including maybe water or sand, and help them learn incorporating different elements such as maybe animal figures or shapes. Then they would have snack and recess and get to play outside for a while. They have their free art time to really learn and express themselves and to really explore and play with colors. Then they have lunch and their playground time. Another really good time to play outside and get some energy out and to help their moods. Then they would have outdoor play, which could involve water play, animals, maybe someone brings in an animal, or this is the time that we could water our flowers, feed our fish, maybe have a class pet of some sort, and just really explore the natural elements, count leaves. It could be as simple as that. 1:30 to 2:30 would be nap time right after they get all their energy out outside and they're tired and need to recuperate for a little bit. Upon waking up from nap, it would be story time, but it's not just story time as the teacher stands in front of the class and reads a book. It would be storytelling. So they're encouraged to tell their own stories, recall their favorite stories, share stories with their peers, and it encourages them to be more confident and be able to stand in front of the class and recite their own stories, and for the teacher to be able to be imaginative and sort of be a good model for imagination and make up her own stories. Then we would practice a little bit of early math, which involves colors, shapes, volume, topics like that. Then there would be some imaginative play, which could be costumes and pretend. It could be making up a puppet show or anything that involves imagination. 4 o'clock, all the students would be picked up, and the staff members use a collaborative journal in order to write down what goes on throughout the day, what works best for each student, their moods, and to really help the parents feel like they were a part of the school day and to help them encourage the same behaviors at home and the lessons that they learned at school.